technology and getting into the management space. And we have, as I explained in the morning, SSA group of companies are our knowledge partner for management programs. So we have undertaken various management courses along with them, with their expertise. And we have also started cluster consulting in various companies through their expertise. And we have the Vice Chairman of SSA Group, Mr. Ganesh Iyer, with us. And Mr. Ganesh Iyer is a graduate chemical engineering from Mumbai University with leadership management program for INSET France. He is also a certified demand-driven planner professional from Demand-Driven Institute USA and a certified project management professional with more than 2 decades of industrial experience. He has basically worked in the field of manufacturing, in plastics, pharma, chemical, number of sectors he has really intervened. Mr. Ganesh has personally coached thousands of breakthrough improvements projects as improved time to market, optimization of inventory, throughput improvement, HRM re-engineering, strategic lean transformation, and various other aspects of industrial management. So I would request Mr. Ganesh Iyer to please come and address our students. Thank you.
Laptop. Has it come? So thank you everybody. Thank you AIPMA for hosting me. So let me see. What do people know about management consulting here? As a field, as an option, as a career option, what is the thought process? Anybody, any students? Students have been explored this path of career field anytime? Heard of it? No? Not yet. All right. So let me explain what management consulting is, right? So to set the context first. How many of you have gone to doctor? Everybody. What does the doctor do? Any one person, yeah. Stand up little loudly. Right? So basically he is treating you to make you feel better, right? Now what happens in companies, in organizations or manufacturing units or other places, as they keep running, right? Like our body, even that is a complex system. You know, complex system, why? On one side, you have to gather customer orders. Once the customer order comes, then somebody has to process it. Once you process it, you have to gather the raw material from somewhere. That raw material may not be at the price you want, may not be of the quality you want, but still you'll have to eat it. Eat it means you'll have to process it and then make the finished good and send it back to the customer, right? So this whole complex system, and as the company grows bigger and bigger, the complexity goes bigger and bigger. Right? So the industry also needs certain doctors, and management consulting is that field of doctorate which goes and helps the industry to help solve the complexities or the inefficiencies which have happened in the companies, right? So SSA is a 22-year-old management consulting company founded in Mumbai, and we have serviced in 24 countries outside of India. Done over 1,000+ business models. What do we mean by business models? Manufacturing is one business model. You could have services, and in manufacturing also you have plastic manufacturing, you could have pharmaceutical manufacturing, chemical manufacturing, cloth manufacturing. So different type of industries, different type of services are required. And what we deliver is try and deliver the savings to the industry back in terms of savings, in terms of either you are able to help improve the sales through increasing the productivity, or reduce the cost by reducing the defects, rejection and rework. And that is how we help the industries get more profitable. That's the primary focus for us. So this is the coverage areas in management consulting, what SSA has done. There could be many more fields, many more specializations which are there, but we have focused in manufacturing, trading and in service industries. What does it mean is these are industry types where we offer our services to help them to improve their processes. These are the type of customers with whom we have done work. You can see that it is both service industry, manufacturing, pharmaceutical, banking, any sort of industry where there is a process. The scope for management consulting is there to improve it. So what do we do? How does management consulting really work, right? How do we offer the services? So we partner with organizations primarily focusing on how to make their processes better. So how does it happen, right? Like when you start your career, you have a vision of what you want to be in 5 years, right? Similarly, the companies which are there, they create certain plans and visions saying that where does the company want to be in 5 years. So we help in facilitating those strategy workshops, which help the company to decide very clearly where they can reach, when they can reach, and how do we get there, right? One is the planning process, but also the execution part becomes very important. You have a vision, but if you don't know how to get there, and if you are not guided in the steps to make sure that you're going towards your goal, you would be able to achieve it. So that is the area where we help the boardrooms in terms of facilitating how to get there. So we gather the data from the organizations, we do a very thorough understanding. So a lot of management consulting has a big portion of business analytics. So we analyze the business for various parameters. What do we mean by parameters? It could be like what is the productivity, or how many people are there, what is the cost per unit which is happening, what is the time taken for every unit which is coming out. So we analyze a lot of data and then we compare it. We do benchmarking with other industry types to try and say that what is it that can be implemented, what can be improved, how can we optimize the amount of inventory you're holding, or how can we reduce the time it is taking to deliver your goods to your customers, how can we reduce the rejections and rework which is happening. These are areas where we support the industry. We help in the employee engagement because people need to feel part of being of a larger goal. So how do you create accountability in the organization? These are again areas where we facilitate in the whole thing. Some of the other technology services what SSA offers are in terms of ERP evaluation and selection. So for any industry to run, you need an enterprise resource planning, a ERP software which is required. But there are so many thousands of software which are there, which is the right one for your industry. We help in production planning and scheduling because ERP is one part. The second part is production planning and scheduling. If you have 300 parts to be made, how do you know which part to make, when to make, how much time to run it? And then there is changeover. You have to make red color, yellow color, pink color. How do we schedule these different colors which have to be made? Because every time you change color, you have to stop the machine from running, change the colors, and then put the new parts and other things. So it's a very complex thing, and a lot of time gets wasted if you don't plan it properly and don't execute it properly. Similarly, project management. So as you execute the projects, how fast you do it, how quickly you do it, how do you deliver on time is very important. Industry 4.0, I'm sure you'd have heard some elements of Industry 4.0, but how do you know which step of the journey you are in and what do you take? So this is an area where we focus on. We have a lot of education and training which we do in the industry. Sarfaraz, my colleague, will talk a little more in detail. What I will cover very quickly in next 10 to 15 minutes is talk about 2 or 3 management principles or concepts which might be useful for everybody in any industry. Okay, so typically when we look at any industry, what every industry is looking for as you are transitioning from your education to going towards industry, you need to also understand how the industry is going to work, and what industries are working on is trying to improve the productivity of their organization. What we mean by that is, how do they get better at doing what they are doing? So there is a lot of competency building which is happening, a lot of internalization of CI systems. CI is continuous improvement systems. So management by objectives, rewards and recognition, these are other things. So you need to build a culture of continuous improvement, right? So, if you are to compare different colleges, what is the difference between the best college and a medium college, right? So the culture in the best colleges helps to get the best people. The culture in the best college helps to develop the competencies, give the knowledge which is required. So what differentiates good companies from bad companies is the culture. So management consulting focuses on how do you develop the best culture in the organization, how do you go about doing it. So let's understand a manufacturing business model for people to transition from education into real life. Now what happens is, you have suppliers who give the raw material to you. So we have material acquisition. You have your manufacturing process. It could be molding, it could be injection molding, it could be blow molding or any other process. It could be punching, bending, welding, assembly processes. And then once the product is made, you need to distribute it in the market, right? So you have a distribution which takes the product and goes to the customer. So this is the chain or the value chain, which we can say, where the industry is adding value, right? Now, parallel to this process, you have a new product introduction process. So we have seen, talked about design today morning, right? And we talked about the various tools like NX and other things. These are all introduced when you want to introduce a new product, right? So if you want to introduce a new product, you have to understand what is the market need, gather those requirements, convert it into a product, and then make it possible to be manufactured. Once it reaches the customers, then from the customers is where this will again become part of your regular manufacturing, right? Now there are support processes. You will have HR processes, finance processes, procurement processes. These are all supporting processes to your manufacturing. And this is how the industry works. So as you graduate, you would pick up, some of you will go into manufacturing, some of you will go into design, some of you might get into HR, some of you might get into finance processes. So all of these options are available. And every field, this engineering knowledge is required. If you get into a manufacturing organization, this knowledge is something which is going to be very essential. So what we say is, in Hindu mythology, there are 3 gods. Everybody is aware? 3 gods of Hindu mythology? Yes. So this bottom, supplier to customer, what we see, right? That is like the Vishnu, right? The manufacturing provides for the organization to sustain, right? It provides the sales which happens is what generates the revenue and helps to sustain the employees and sustain the industry. The new product introduction is like the Brahma, right? Because Brahma is doing creativity, doing new things, right? So as people get into design function, you have to have a different mindset, right? If you have the same, these 3 mindsets are very different of manufacturing. Manufacturing always looks at how to do it at lowest cost. But when you come into design, design has to be a very creative person. You have to think about new ideas, how you can do it. Now the third god, who is the third god? So where should Mahesh be, right? Now if the role of Mahesh is not done by the organization, what happens is your customer will become your Mahesh, right? Which means that customer will kill you. So you can see companies such as Ambassador. Are they there? They refuse to change, right? If you refuse to change, what happens is people will stop buying you, right? Nokia felt that it can do away with not going with a smartphone, right? If you are not willing to change, customer is going to kill you, right? So it is very important that the role of Mahesh has to be got inside the organization, right? Only when every organization recognizes that a product will have initial period, then it will grow, it will sustain, and it will decline, any product. and you have to ensure that you kill a product at its right time. Otherwise, customer is going to kill you and you're going to go out of business. So this is the essence of any business model. And what is very important for you students is to pick an area where you can make a difference. What is it that you are more, some people will be more creative, some people will be more other things. So this is better to align yourself in terms of the industry needs, in terms of where you fit best and where you can deliver most in the organization. So the belief in industry is continuing the old process and expecting new results. That is not possible at all, right? So that's where consulting comes in to help to change the belief of the organization, bring in the new techniques, new methodology, new ways of doing things. That is what we help. And in management, we talk about continuous improvement. We talk about various methodologies. We talk about Lean, Six Sigma, theory of constraints. There are many methods. It's like, a carpenter comes home, a bag bhar ke lagta hai, toolkit. In engineering first year you will have carpentry. So how many tools you have in that kit? You have a lot of tools, right? Now if you want to put a screw on a wall, what will you use? Which tool will you use? Screw. You will put a screw with a hammer. You will use a screwdriver, right? But if you want to put a nail in the wall, you will use a hammer, correct? So depending on the type of the problem you need to solve, you will select a different tool to solve it, right? So consulting, what happens is you have many tools which are available to solve different types of problems. What is very important is to understand what is the problem and what tool will solve that problem. This is the skill which you gain as you grow in the management consulting arena, right? So for people to understand how an organization, any company is there, you have sales function, you have design function, you have manufacturing, you have purchase, production, dispatch, after sales, customer service, right? These are different departments in companies. And usually what happens is the customer will give you the requirements which get translated to drawings, and then it becomes finished good at the end, right? So you might, as I said, will be in one or more of these functions where you will do it. So traditional manufacturing, what happens is one department will not talk to other department. They will send the documents, you will get an email saying that this is the requirement which is there, and you are working within your function. So if there is any problem, what will happen? Marketing person will say something is not right, or design will say go back to customer. They will keep sending things back saying that things are not right. And that is why it takes a very long time, and you never get it right first time, because something or the other gets missed when this person tells him, like Chinese whisper, when one person tells other person, something gets lost, and by the time the production is doing and getting it out to customer, something or the other is lost. So as we go, what the way ahead is, we have seen the speed to market. That's what is the punchline for AIPMA, right? So time-based competitiveness is the mantra today, right? Why people prefer Amazon over Flipkart today? Is Amazon preferred or Flipkart preferred? Right? It is, right, till 2014, till 2013, before Amazon came, everybody liked Flipkart because that was the only thing which was available. But once Amazon came, the shift happened. Why did it happen? Because they delivered it faster, they delivered it better, they provided better customer service to you, right? And this is the mantra of the industry. If you are not going to be competitive, if you are not going to deliver on time, not do it right first time, it is going to be very hard to do it. As students, as you move into industry, these qualities are something which you have to bring into your work which you do. You have to do things faster, you have to do things right, you have to do things right first time, and not keep on doing corrections, right? These would become the necessity of how you would work in the industry. So how do you transform any organization? We use levers of speed of response, zero defects, and total employee involvement, which means that how do you engage all the people in the organization? That's very, very important. And you break down the barriers between these various functions and work cross-functionally. That is what is happening in industry as we drive management consulting in the organization. So with this, I'll call upon Sarfraz to take ahead. And yeah, one last topic for the young students who are getting into the industry. As you are today, you're in the lower management. As you enter the organizations, you will be in lower management, and as you go in your career, you will go towards top management. What is very important to understand is initial years, your focus on technical skill has to be very high. This skill you will have to gain in the early years of your career. The second skill, which is people skill, this is something which will increase as you go towards middle management, as you become a manager. And as you become director and as you become more, then you need more of conceptual skills. So what is very important today for students is develop your technical skills, become good at something technically. That is most important for you guys. And as you go higher and higher in the organization, as your years go by, then you need more people skills, people management skills, because you will have a team which you will have to manage. And then once you have the team, you need more conceptual skills as you go higher in terms of driving strategy, driving leadership, how to build a new company, finance and other things, right? So with that, I'll hand it over to Sarfraz to talk about certain programs which we do for colleges and students.
Okay. So thank you, Ganesh. So I'm gonna just run through some of the programs that we do. If you have any questions, you can catch us after this. Now, I just wanted to add what Ganesh mentioned, connecting that to these courses. See, at this point of time to start your career, you definitely need to build your technical skills, right? You need to roll off your sleeves and get on to the job. But once you have that foundation, to grow up the level faster, you need to focus more on management skills, some of which I will cover here, some of which you need to know, you need to learn on the way. Most of the people, most of the students, are stuck in their career and they blame the industry, the government, they blame their companies. But the competition is out there, right? So if you want to be competitive, you need to plan your career. You don't need to be aggressive, but you need to plan. Plan in the sense, again, foundation, just the slide before that. If you don't build your management thinking, if you don't think like the owner of the company and take the leadership, you will never grow. Not that you will not do good in life, but if you aim for a higher, bigger package or travel the world or become a CEO or an MD of a company, you need to build on the management capabilities. So with that, I just wanted to cover some of the programs. Of course, I'm not going to go in deep. You may not, understand about these programs, but yes, we can help you with counseling later. But most, these are some of the topics, Six Sigma, I'm sure you would have heard. So these are the topics that will help you to understand how businesses are run and how you can run your organization, or an organization can run and help the, grow and add value to his employees and as well as the customers. So these are some of the topics which we deliver, which we do for manufacturing companies. For pharma, the pharma students. So we, as a company, we have almost captured 90% of the Indian pharma company, where we are conducting these workshops and consulting services. Then again, some of the management tools, these are one of the best tools that you can, you can just glance through this. We can share more details through AIPMA later. So one of our key, so if you see the ISET logo, the accredited provider, so we are the only company in India which is internationally recognized for conducting best-in-class training programs. So whatever training we do, you'll get this ISET accredited certificate, which is valid worldwide. Some of the top institutions in the world who are also accredited by ISET. So we are in that league, you can assume. This is a sample certificate, the ISET logo, which is internationally recognized. So how do we run this program? So just to give you an idea, so our programs are highly interactive. We conduct a lot of game simulations, Q&A, quiz. So it's never a boring training, even for students as well as for adults. So, and we use a lot of tools. So you can use your mobile phone while doing the training program and participate. So polls, online exams, exercises, right? So some of our USPs is that whatever you learn from us, through our training program, through the AIPMA platform, it will make you close to becoming industry ready. So whatever is prevailing now, whatever the employees are looking for, you will learn through our training program. So the content is updated. You can say each and every time the industry throws a new requirement, looks something new in the students and employees, professionals, we create a content around it. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. That's about it. Thank you.